Boy, it has been a crazy couple of weeks, hasn't it? We are approaching our 1 month mark here in the United States with navigating this whole COVID-19 epidemic. And I don't know about you guys, but like emotionally, I'm just through it, over it. I'm ready to just like breathe and zen out. Thankfully, turkey season here in Colorado starts up next weekend, and I am so stoked to get out into the wilderness and hopefully gobble in some birds. All things aside, right? So what's going on right now financially in probably the biggest discussion point that's happening in the business financial world are these disaster recovery loans that are available. Specifically, there's the PPP, which is the Payroll Protection Plan, and the EIDL, which is the Economic Injury Disaster Loan Program. Okay, so I'm going to go through some of the high-level considerations as to how you should approach these different loans and what you should consider before even applying for them. And then at the end of the video, I'm going to go ahead and give you some links to where you can go find resources that relate to the application process and more of the specific nuances surrounding it. But I really want to talk high level here with you guys today. So let's go through this process and like the mental thinking as to the application of these particular loans in your business. Okay. Last week I did a webinar on business continuity planning, and in that particular webinar I went through the steps that you need to take as an owner to evaluate your own personal financial risk, how to triage your finances, and then how to look at your key non-financial assets, being to best leverage your non-financial assets, being your employees, your customers, and your vendors, and then how to use all of the information to best position you and your business to be able to thrive after this disruption's over. Okay. I've also provided a link to that webinar as well, so if you haven't already watched it, I would highly encourage you to watch it. You won't regret it. Okay. So as for the financing that's available specifically, there are a lot of nuances as to how you can use this money and what portions of it, if any, can actually be forgiven. Another question is how long can the payments be deferred, and like so on. So all of these resources, or all the information particularly related to those questions, are provided below. I would also highly suggest you to go and reach out to your financial accounting banking professionals to be able to best build a strategy for you and your particular business, as well as your own personal financial interests. Okay. So the first question that you really need to ask yourself in terms of looking at these loans is, will my business stay open through the next few months and beyond? There are a lot of seasonal businesses out there who don't even know if they're going to open up their doors this summer. This could be because of national or international customer bases may not be traveling by the time that their season starts up, government mandated shutdowns such as parks, or even like having a super short selling season. If this is you, and in order to be in a position to rebound for next year, it could be in your best interest to go ahead and shut the doors for this particular season, be able to find other income streams, and then to reopen next year. Do not try and force things this year, especially if it's going to exhaust your cash reserves, and it's okay, frankly, to just simply say not this year. Don't feel bad about doing it. Know it's a good decision, it's a safe decision, and it's going to be protecting you and yours, your family, which is essentially what matters most, right? So it makes no sense if you are in this position, it makes no sense to take out money that will eventually have to be paid back if you don't plan to generate income or are faced in a position to close down entirely, okay? So on a positive, assuming you are in a position to keep the doors open, the second consideration we want to look at is, do you need the money to float a little bit until this rebound happens? And then once revenue starts rolling in, how to capture those revenues. So if this is you, funding might actually be a really good option. The EIDL program offers a $10,000 grant for small businesses with under 500 employees, those that are self-employed, contractors, and so forth, okay? The application for that EIDL grant itself takes less than 5 minutes, and supposedly the money is going to be deposited into your bank account within 3 days. Also, the EIDL has a loan program that is the economic disaster recovery stuff. So like this is when there's historically like natural disasters take place. It's more of a traditional type of loan in those types of efforts. So payments can be deferred in this loan, payments can be deferred for up to 1 year. However, depending on the amount of the loan, it may require collateral and even personal guarantees. So if you're looking to a position to shut down the business, you're not going to want to take out the EIDL because you'll still be liable for that money. And if you're a going concern, like, just don't even put yourself in that kind of position, okay? The other option is the PPP, and right now this is the loan that everybody's really excited about. There is a potential that a portion, or depending on how much you take out, the full loan could even be forgiven. Right now the interest rate has been set at 1%, and that's for the amounts that's not forgiven, basically an unforgiven portions at 1%. So this loan can be used to like refinance existing debt and to be able to pay for other operating expenses as well, which is way cool, and that's a super cheap financing option, okay? That being said, the whole purpose of the PPP is to keep people employed, okay? So you essentially could have free labor from now until the end of June, but there are stipulations to have this loan forgiven. So for that forgiven component, right, look at your employee base. What are your wages by employee? And what are your anticipated revenues from now until the end of June? Does it make sense to fully keep staffed? I'm not talking about partially staffing, but to have this deferral or to have the forgiveness is you need to maintain full level of staffing, okay? So depending on your situation and your ability to absorb the loan, should it not be forgiven, then it may make sense to furlough your employees, okay? The reason why I say wages per employee is depending on the unemployment insurance that you have, their weekly unemployment could be better than what you'd be able to pay them should they stay on. So it could even be in your employees' better interest to lay them off as well. Assuming you are a business who has been open for the last year, right, will continue to stay open and is in a position to fully staff your business, then a forgiven PPP loan could be a very good option for you. With the PPP loan, you're going to need to first apply for the loan right now, and then at a later date, you're going to need to ask for forgiveness. It's going to be like super important to have all of your ducks in a row and for your record keeping to be in order to be able to get this forgiveness, okay? I've posted a number of resources, including side-by-side comparatives of these two loans, a cloud accounting podcast that answers probably 90% of the frequently asked questions that I'm getting surrounding these loans, and as well as some like how to apply videos, and much more on my Facebook page, the Ascent Facebook page, as well as the Outfitters and Guides business strategy group. If you are an outfitter or a guide, or you know somebody that is, I really encourage you to go and apply or request to become a member of it. There's already over 50 guides within this group, and there's a lot of collaboration going on in terms of what guides are doing and what the decisions that they're making to be able to get through this thing. It's a great community for just that camaraderie component right now. Following the epidemic, it will be another great resource too for looking beyond and growth and profitability and thriving businesses, okay? So wherever you're watching this from, leave a comment below, stay at home. If you do have to go out, wear a mask, and enjoy yourselves. So I'm Zeb Smith with Ascent. Thank you for watching.